Hello and welcome back to Lagoon. Okay, those sharp players who came to this game from, say, East 1 and 2 or whatever, were probably like, hey, this is an East 1 and 2 clone. Lagoon Castle is probably going to be this epic final area with tons of stuff to do and like 4 bosses and it's going to be huge and awesome. No. Prepare for disappointment, everybody. Though if you've been playing this version of the game, you are well accustomed to disappointment already, so never mind. This site actually took me a lot less time than I thought it was. I originally thought I was going to have divided into 2 videos. By the way, have some magic. That's the last time you'll see that magic being useful, because pretty much everything above here either takes a lot less damage from it, or is completely immune. Now, Lagoon Castle is pretty small potatoes compared to a lot of the other final areas you've seen me tackle, like Darm Tower, Solomon Shrine, the City of the Ancients, that sort of thing. The reason, by the way, that I'm constantly checking my stats is to make sure that I don't miss when I've gained a level, because having the defense ring working is vital. At least the way I play, anyways. I'm sure some of you out there are actually good at games. So, some things that happen here may not apply to the rest of you. There is quite a bit of stuff we still have to get in Lagoon Castle, though. Like experience, for example. These knights are so slow, they're hard to hit. But no, these are actually some of the easier things in the castle. We don't strictly have to go in here, but this is just for completion's sake. If anyone is familiar with the actual Japanese text of the Sharp version, I would like to know what the actual name of the secret place was. Because secret place just sounds like something was censored. It's just one of those telltale things, like in Lufia 2, where they did a find of replace of gods with evil super beings, which created some hilarious conversation text in the last town. So we need to find a statue to smash a mirror. So we use a mirror to smash rocks and a statue to smash a mirror. That's quite a weapon triangle you got there, Lagoon. Now, in the Sharp version, you actually have to rescue Felicia before you can do pretty much anything else in Lagoon Castle. This is a bit more open-ended. Let's see, stab this guy. Now, there are no actual enemies on the 3rd floor, however, it is something of a maze. It also has something we absolutely need in order to complete this game. It's read on the slab in front of the castle that we need to use the Moonstone in order to get the Moonblade, and this is the way to get that. The Silence Terrace, by the way, has town regeneration rates, so if you want to restore your MP, this is probably the best place to do it. No, don't blow it up! Yeah. Sword me! Yeah, you don't actually have to do all this stuff with talking to Nasir's dad and standing in the moonlight with the Moonstone. In the Sharp version, the Moonblade is just locked in a chest. Okay, that may not seem like a huge attack power boost, but number one, anything is helpful, and number two, without the Moonblade you cannot finish the game. You can't even theoretically finish the game without it. The thing is, the final boss takes 0 damage from everything except the Moonblade. And you can actually get to the final boss without the Moonblade, so you can get there with the Force Sword and attack the final boss and do 0 damage and be like, I'm done! Okay, once I remember what the button to open chests is, we get a Bright Stone. This is used to immediately restore our MP to full. I don't think I'll actually have a need for it. It's why I didn't pick up the Bright Stone in the Ice Cave. Which reminds me, one of the things that Lagoon does is if you already have an item and then open up a chest that has that item, you'll get gold instead. Which would be absolutely useless if you got gold in Lagoon Castle. Okay, this is why I was okay with using the elixir against Ella, because I knew I'd get another one here. Oh yeah, speaking of gold, I've tallied up everything, and with all of my adventures, all of the monsters I've killed, and all of the grinding I'll have to do for the final boss, even with all of that done, I still would not have enough gold for the shiny ball back in Volo, even if I could somehow return there right now. Which shows you just how ridiculously expensive it is. Also, another thing is that the amount of gold you get from monsters in this game does not actually go up that much as you continue through the game. Like, around Volo, monsters give 3 or 4 gold, and here in Lagoon Castle they'll give like 9 or 10. Okay, this was completely the wrong way. There's something I really want on the 4th floor, aside from the elixir. By the way, I just chugged the healing pot. You saw how much it helped me. Okay, it's not so much something I want as something I absolutely need. Well, even though this is probably one of the game's bigger dungeons, I'm glad that it actually has decent music. Master of Water is probably one of the 4 tracks in this game that I actually like. Like, completely, anyway. Let's see, deal with you. There we go, the moon shield. Yeah, the thing is, the basic thunder magic where you just shoot a regular thunderball costs like 20 MP and does not do much damage at all. So the most powerful spell in the game actually is not all that amazingly useful in the final areas of the game. I'm not asking for magic to be, like, uber powerful like it was in the original versions of East 2, but considering that it's not useful against bosses at all, I expect a little more oomph against enemies later on. So I found a dead end. There are plenty of those in Lagoon Castle. One of the reasons I was able to make it through here so quickly as I did was because I had memorized most of the where I had to go. One can spend a ton of time in Lagoon Castle just wandering. But again, the game seems to have been designed that way. Not much more to say about Lagoon Castle. I've exhausted pretty much everything actually interesting, or even remotely close to potentially interesting. Level 29, that's good. Yeah, I want to be level 30 at least for the Lagoon Castle boss. And I think you should be too. You'll thank yourself, trust me. Okay, this should be the way forward. No, that's not it either. That's because there's something else I forgot that I grabbed. The heal ring. It'll give you really fast hit point regeneration at the cost of MP, and you need to be careful with how you use it because it's the one ring that does turn off when you reach 0 MP. As I said before, the rest do tend to linger out, even when you're down to empty. We're getting close. That door you briefly saw to the right is where we need to be headed. Let's see, take care of this guy. Okay, get our statue. And chuck it through the mirror! Oh, really? Yeah, evil wizard ruled the world 1,000 years of darkness. Let's get him! Okay, about these giants. Small sword from the sides, no sword when they're facing up, and gigantic sword when they're facing down. Brilliant! They also have weird hitboxes. Magic is useless against them. You can't really stab them like this, even though you can make contact and they can hurt you. What you really need to do is sort of align yourself so that you're kind of stabbing them in the knees. The 5th floor of Lagoon Castle is probably the best grinding spot in the game. The giant knights here are slow, easy to kill, and only give slightly less experience than the monsters in the very last part of the game. Plus you can shove them around even though they're absolutely enormous. There is one last item I need to get here before moving on. It should be around this way. Get out of my way. I need what you're guarding. Okay, remember the button. The final piece of equipment, the moon armor. And I'm level 30, which means I'm ready to head after the Lagoon Castle boss. Once I remember where it is. Okay, it should be down around... Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna regenerate a bit, because the next boss is a bit of a doozy. unlike Ella, he is somewhat more fair. Okay, gonna regenerate some MP first, though. And save. Don't want to have to redo the whole of Lagoon Castle. Okay, the next boss is Battler, who is a wizard. His parents must be very disappointed in him. Okay, Battler's pets are invincible, and Battler himself will randomly teleport. However, his teleportation is a bit more fair than Ella's, in that it takes a little bit for him to arrive. And I've never actually had Battler teleport directly on top of me. It's really the pets you need to look out for. Battler himself does not do that much damage if you touch him. However, it's very easy for his pets to blindside you. Good God, those things are freaky. No wonder you joined Team Evil if that's your primary magical talent. Well, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Battler can take some getting used to. In fact, I would recommend fighting him at a higher level than I try to. Again, for the sake of your own sanity. The amount of time that Battler stays in a certain point is pretty random. Sometimes he'll leave almost immediately, and sometimes he sticks around. Like there. That's it for that jerk. Okay, you can't just fall here. That'll actually kill you instantly. You need to jump. However, it doesn't really matter if you land on that island or not. You can jump over the horizon and the game doesn't care. And here we are in Lagoon Castle's back 40. Well, more like back 2. Yeah, you can go back into Lagoon Castle to grind on the easier enemies there. And those stairs lead to the final area of the game. See ya.